early indication of their status today?
I think Ben's going to play and Tyrese will be out.
Is there any restriction on Ben? You think he'll be able to do normal minutes coming back today?
Don't know for sure.
You closed both halves in the last game with both TJ and Andrew out there together. Curious what you liked about those two on the floor at the same time, and in general, 2 point guard groups for your team this year.
I liked it when it was going well, and I didn't fully analyze the whole thing, but we've got to use the tools that we have available and try to figure out combinations that are good. Atlanta's an underrated team that's playing at a very enhanced level, and they're hard to play and they're hard to beat.
Quinn was just talking about Dyson Daniels and how sometimes it can be harder for a guard to quantify what they do on the defensive end. I was wondering, as far as versus a big man, what have you seen from Dyson this year, and how do you think he fits into the Defensive Player of the Year conversation?
Well, he's very much right there. And who are the other names? I'm asking you.
Evan Mobley.
Huh?
Evan Mobley, Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, those guys are great too. I think I haven't looked directly at their team defensive metrics, but I do know that the difference between their team this year and their team last year is dramatic, and he has a lot to do with it. The same way that without Andrew Nembhard, we were 5-10, and with Andrew Nembhard, we're a much better team and a much better defensive team. And so, you're talking about two of the premier defenders in the game right now, tonight on the court, with Daniels and Nembhard, and Jackson and Mobley are great too. And so there's and as we, you guys were asking about it the other night. I mean, there's a lot more respect for great defense in the game today, and it's getting more attention, and deservedly so.
You just mentioned before, he asked about Andrew and TJ. You said you hadn't necessarily gone through everything, but what kind of stood out Thursday night from a second glance in terms of just what you guys did well in terms of just functioning without Ty, and what stood out differently on a second glance, I guess?
Well, we were too inconsistent as a team. We didn't play with enough physicality, enough presence, enough posture. And so, we've got to do better there tonight. Atlanta's a very hard team to guard, starting with Young. But Daniels creates a lot of problems too, and he's very underrated offensively. And he got the ball in the paint continuously, and he hit a big three at the end. And Niang spacing the floor, driving, and making plays. I mean, he's another guy that's underrated, for what he does. And so, look, they've made their team better with those trades and those acquisitions. I mean, you look at Levert, Mann, and Niang, adding that to a second unit. I mean, that's really bolstering your team, because it's not only skill, but it's experience and toughness, and all those guys have played deep into the playoffs.
Coach Théo Cantar for the French Media Basket USA.
Ça va?
Ça va, et vous? Just a question about Zachary Rizache. What do you think about his progression throughout his rookie season? And do you think maybe he's underrated player?
I think he's terrific. He's played two very good games against us. He scored more in the first game, but he's got great feel. He shoots it, he drives it, he passes it, and defensively, he's going to be a guy that's going to get better and better, and he's got length, and he anticipates. And I think he's another reason that their team is better defensively this year as well. So, I mean, Daniels is probably the big factor, and think Jalen Johnson's had an impact. You know, they have bigs that are very good defensively and on the boards. You know, with Okongwu and Capella, and you know, guys like Gay. You know, these guys go really hard, and they play within their job description. You know, they don't try to do too much, but they all go hard. So you know, Quinn's done a great job here. He's done a great job wherever he's been, but he's done a great job with this team, and they're so different than they were last year.
All good? Oh, go ahead.
One final question you did not share with us Thursday, that we had basketball royalty in the house with Barry Parkhill,
Yeah.
one of the ACC's.
Don't date
all-time
us.
greats. Explain to these youngins who he was.
Well, Barry Parker was maybe the best player in the ACC in 72, 73, somewhere in that area. People referred to him as the Bill Bradley of the ACC at that time, and I got to know him. He was gone by the time I got there, but I got to know him through alumni games, and his folks had a home in Charlottesville and stuff like that. So we stayed in touch over the years, and he's still very involved with Virginia sports, Virginia athletics, and so he was just making a visit. He was here making some calls on folks, and serving the Cavalier cause.
All good? Thank you.